We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
All right, Adam. So during the warmer months, Adam uses his garage as his home theater. Where does he live? He must live someplace very cold. Is that what I'm getting from this?
Car parked outside when it's warmer, so then he puts a theater in his garage.
Oh, okay. He has an Epson 5040 UB projector. I swear these things come in waves. And a surround sound system powered by a Denon AVR X5200W. The X5200W does not have HDCP 2.2, so he's been using an HD Fury Integral. And I'm trying to open that, and the site cannot be reached. So I can see what the heck he's talking about.
Okay.
That link is not working.
Huh. They must be updating their website as we speak.
This will let him send the HDCP 2.2 video to his projector, while the HD Fury's second HDMI output sends an HDCP 1.4 signal to his receiver. During the colder months, the garage goes back to being a garage. So he brings the Epson into his basement setup, where he uses a Sonos player for the audio. This Sonos Playbar, I missaid that the first time, but anyway, it's called the Sonos Playbar, can only accept an optical audio cable, so he uses the HD Fury to extract the audio from his HDMI sources. The problem is that the HD Fury only has two HDMI input, and he's been using it as a switch for his Philips Ultra HD Blu-ray player and his Roku Premiere Plus, since those were his first two 4K sources. But now he wants to use more HDMI sources. He doesn't want to have to plug and unplug devices into his HD Fury, or be forced to make do with his older HDMI switch that does not support 4K and HDCP 2.2. So they have 4K HDCP 2.2 HDMI switches with 4 or 5 inputs that cost less than $100. If the switch also has audio extraction to optical, he wouldn't even need to use HD Fury with the Sonos Playbar setup. So that'd be beneficial if it's available.
Yeah. So I wanted to address the HD Fury thing first, because the Denon AVR X5200W was that really weird year where Onkyo decided to have HDCP 2.2 support in their Onkyo and Integra.
Right.
They had HDCP 2.2 support that year, but they were limited to 10.2 gigabits per second on their HDMI connections. Meanwhile, Denon and Marantz supported 18 gigabits per second bandwidth on their HDMI connections, but they didn't support HDCP 2.2 that year.
Right.
So it was this weird situation. That was the year of those projectors. So the HD Fury has two HDMI inputs and two HDMI outputs. One of those HDMI outputs can be HDCP, whatever you want it to be. It's programmable, but it can do 2.2. And the second HDMI output is HDCP 1.4. Okay. So he was describing in his email, I didn't put it in this rundown, but he was describing that he was using an HDMI audio for his Ultra HD Blu-ray player, but for some reason he was using optical audio for his Roku Premiere Plus. And now he's going to have more HDMI sources, right?
Right.
So I was looking at that. I go, well, you should be able to, as long as you have an HDMI switch,
right,
switch between whatever HDMI source you want.
Right.
That HDMI switch is going to have one output, right?
Right.
You plug that one output into your HD Fury.
Yes.
And then the HD Fury can split that HDMI signal, keep the HDCP 2.2 and 4K resolution and all that going to your projector.
Right.
And then output an HDCP 1.4 version of that is basically just there for audio only to your X5200W receiver. There should be no need for an optical audio connection when you're using your Denon receiver. That should not be necessary.
Yeah, I can't understand why it would be. Yeah.
Right. Now, for the Sonos Playbar, opposite situation. It only has one optical audio input. That's all the Sonos Playbar has.
Convenient.
But same thing. You could plug all of your HDMI sources into an HDMI switch. The one output from that HDMI switch goes into your HD Fury, and the HD Fury can extract the HDMI audio and send it out of its optical audio output. So the connection path should be, you should be able to just take your HDMI switch and your HD Fury and bring it to your garage, plug in all your sources, plug 2 HDMI cables into the HD Fury in your garage, and then bring your HD Fury and the HDMI switch into your basement setup and plug an optical audio cable instead of the second HDMI cable that's just there for audio. That should work. That's the setup that I'm proposing. And there is a 5-in, 1-out HDCP 2.2 18 gigabit per second switch from Sewell for $65.
That's the solution.
So that's their SwitchDeck.
Okay.
So that's under $100.
It is.
It itself does not have optical audio extraction, but you still have the HD Fury. So
you're gonna the HD Fury
asking you to spend more money.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this splitting out of the audio, that's where, and what the HD Fury is doing, that's the expensive bit. So the switches are not that expensive.
That's right.
But the
it's surprisingly hard to find an HDMI switch that has 18 gigabits per second bandwidth. That actually is, like, if you go to Monoprice, they don't have any. They're all 10.2. Even the ones that support HDCP 2.2, they're still 10.2 gigabits per second, except for the ones that do it via an optical connection or an Ethernet or something like that. But Sewell, they have $65, 5-in, 1-out, 18 gigabits, HDCP 2.2. So you take the one output from that, plug it into your HD Fury, and then you can do whatever you need to do. You can either split the audio out via HDMI with HDCP 1.4 instead, so that it works with the receiver, or you can split out the optical audio from your HD Fury. So that's the solution. SwitchDeck 4K HDMI 2.0 switch by Sewell, if you want to search it before we get the link posted at avrant.com. But we will post the link, avrant.com.
There you go. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.